Greetings, I am Zorch. Welcome to day 4 of my Snowdonia playthrough. This particular playthrough is going to cover the Jungfraubahn scenario, which comes packaged with the Mount Washington scenario. You've probably already noticed some of the major differences, of course the main one being the fact that there's no track out here. That's because we're using the special Jungfraubahn card tracks. And these are very special indeed, because they have dynamite on them. You heard right, in this scenario we're going to be blowing up a lot of stuff. The snowplow train actually comes with a stick of dynamite instead of a coal at the beginning of the game. And dynamite can be used instead of a dig action to remove all of the cubes off of a space, or to flip over one of the special Jungfraubahn track cards. In addition to that, I get +1 to my digging work rate, which I'm sure will come in very handy if I remember to use it. We have station cards that have a lot more rubble on them than usual, particularly this guy here and these two. And I wanted to make sure to point them out because in the last couple of playthroughs I keep forgetting to put rubble onto them. Another important note about this one is that if you don't move your surveyor, you're going to lose points. In fact, if you never move him off of the starting station, you'll lose 15 points at the end of the game. And if you make it to the very top, you'll gain 8. So moving the surveyor is going to be important. And another big change is that we've got a whole new deck of contract cards. And the main thing about that is that it adds snow to the game. Snow is unusual because it actually adds rubble back onto the board. Normally, after we've dug all the rubble out, we would replace the digging action with another build, but since rubble can always come back, we're never actually going to get rid of the dig action. Rubble that's removed with dynamite is considered vaporized, and therefore you can't use it for your contracts at the end of the game. One final important thing to point out is the fact that we've got special snow events on the event track, which means that the game will never be completing stations. So let's set up the stockyard. No events allowed this time around. Darn it, get back in there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, very good. So here's our starting stockyard, and we're ready to play. Another thing I wanted to note that I'm pretty sure I've been doing in every game, you don't actually have to dig out this first station to start working on the track. Pretty much you can always ignore rubble that's in the stations in terms of building the track. So with that in mind, I am going to be digging for sure on this one. And I think I might be grabbing a contract. It's good that this one came up early in the game. This contract card gives you extra points whenever you have collected 2 of the special Jungfraubahn track cards. So yeah, those are actually worth points at the end of the game, so collecting them is important also. Well, I know I regret it every time I don't collect resources, so I'm going to do that. So let's kick it off by grabbing a coal and 2 iron. Then I'm going to be digging, and the dig work rate currently is 1. I'm going to use one of those dig actions to use my dynamite to blow up that Jungfraubahn track card. So I get to keep this, we turn it over, so I'll get 7 points at the end of the game, and we reveal the 2 track cards that were buried underneath it. I'll put this down here, hopefully you can still see it. And we reveal a 2 and a 3. And now I gotta put rubble onto those, just like a normal track. So 2 and 3. And I've got 2 more dig actions, one from my train and then one left over from the dig. So I think I will actually start excavating out the station. Well, I can either grab these or I can start over here and start working my way up the mountain. And the trick with the snow is that it can actually fill back in, so I'm going to have to bear that in mind whenever I'm making my decisions here. I don't see any real reason not to do it, so I'm just going to grab 2 from this station and hang on to it. And then maybe I'll be able to use it for a track at the end of the game. I suppose technically I should take the cubes from this side. We're supposed to be working from left to right. So, end of the first round. I didn't grab any contracts. And draw our cubes. And no events. Good, they can just stay in there. I think this will be a good turn to get my extra man from the pub. It's kind of small fry, 2 pieces of track for 15 points, but I think having the double work rate would also be very useful in this particular scenario. I will also grab more goods from the stockyard. and figure out what to do with this last guy. Well, I don't want to try to dig because it's not going to be able to do too much good. And... I don't want to convert. I can't lay track. I'm definitely not building anything. So it really comes down to whether or not I want to get more stuff or move my surveyor. And I think I want to get more stuff. So let's do that now. I am going to grab a coal plus 2 iron with this guy. And then I will grab 2 iron and a rock with my second. And lastly, I will grab this contract with my last man. And move on to the weather. This time around, we got our first snow. So when that happens, we look at the current work rate, and then, starting from the highest excavated point, we fill in all of the cubes that have been removed on the contract cards. So really, in this case, the only thing that happens is 2 cubes go back into that spot. Not a big deal this time, but you can imagine how bad that would be. So, go to our draw. There's 4, 6. Oh, our first event. Well, now the game gets to do its thing, and it is going to dig, and it's going to dig a lot. So it's going to dig out all of these cubes, all of these cubes, all of these cubes, and all of these cubes, which is a pretty big move. I don't see any reason not to get another man this turn, so I will be doing that. And I will for sure be converting. And what else will I do? You'll see this little shovel with a red X on it on this contract card. That means that you can't use excavation spaces on the stations towards this contract. That makes them a little bit more difficult to get. I think I got my plan down. I'm going to gather some more resources and lay some track. So, first I am going to grab, I believe, 2 stone and an iron with this guy. Then I will be converting 6 cubes into 2 bars. And using my last action to grab a stick of dynamite, because those are always useful. And after that, I will be laying 2 pieces of track because of the current work rate. And I've got just enough bars to do it. So that's you and you, owned by me and me. And we move on to the weather. Do our draw. Oh. In this case, no matter how good I am at putting cubes back in there, the events always seem to come anyway. So we get our next event, although in this case it has no effect, it's just the train event, and I already have a train, so I don't have to worry about it. Well, I know I want to be gathering resources this turn. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this other guy, though. Alright, I think I'm going to build. So first I will grab a piece of coal, 1 rock, and 1 iron. And then I am going to build with these 4 pieces of rock into this station right here for 9 points at the end of the game. And I think that's a pretty big return. That makes for a short turn. Now we grab our cubes. Oh, again, but the events. Alright, there's our 6. And it looks like the game's going to lay some track, and that's disappointing, because that means it's going to uproot this card, which means that that's 7 points I'll never get, and that exposes these 2 track cards with 3 and 4 rubble on it, but since it's a lay track event, it automatically digs out all the rubble and lays both of these. So that's really a painful move. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think if I wanted to, I could actually dig out the cubes on that station and bypass this one altogether. I won't be able to build onto this station if I do that, but I don't know. It might be worth it to get out some of those big blocks of cubes up there. Of course, there's a nice big tasty 8-point piece right there if I grab that, but for that case, I will definitely have to dig out those cubes to get it. Well, I'm going to get my extra man from the pub. That'll be the first step. And I know from experience I'll be in a lot of trouble if I don't start gathering resources regularly. I just don't know what I'm going to do next, though. Well, I think I'm going to keep gathering and dig this turn. So first I will grab this coal and 2 iron, as well as 2 more iron and 1 stone. That will be both of these. Then I will dig, and since the work rate is up so high, I will excavate out all 4 of these pieces, which means that I get to claim this spot. And I think I'm gonna go crazy and use my dynamite to blow out this space. I don't get to keep that rubble, but still, it's 5 points at the end of the game. That sounds good to me. On to the weather. Alright, we've maxed out our work rate. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. Oh, that's our last event. So, oh, we get more snow this time. Since I've dug out all this track and then got started on this station, that means that the snow is actually going to fall back down here on the main station, which means that I won't be able to build on there again. I guess it's a good thing I got in there when I did. Well, I don't see any sense in saving him, so I will get my extra worker this turn. And I know I'm going to be converting. The next question is what to do with everyone else. I'm pretty sure I want to grab this contract here. Looks pretty tasty. Gives me points for dynamite at the end of the game, and also lets me move my surveyor at extra space. And I think that moving it twice in one shot is probably going to be a pretty good return. Now what to do with this last guy. It's a shame I won't have my dynamite from this action until after I get done digging. Oh, speaking of digging, that's the next event on the event track. And that means all these cubes go back into the bag. So, I don't know if it's a good idea, but I'm going to dig some more. So let's do that now. First, I dig out 5 because of the work rate and my +1, and I'm going to almost excavate that 8-point spot. It's a shame I don't have just a little bit more to get in there, but I get a lot of rubble out of it, which is kind of nice. Next, I'm converting all of these into 2 iron bars, and using my third action to get another stick of dynamite, and finally picking up this contract. So, you come home and we go to the weather. Alright, on to the draw. And, oh yeah. There were too many of them in there to not pull one, I suppose. So, the game digs. Oh, no, it's going to dig a lot. It's going to dig out 3, but the good thing is it starts way down here, so it's not going to be that bad. Oh, but it does dig out this one station. That's very annoying. That space may not be lost to me yet. It could snow back in, and then I can dig it out again. Oops, I put that in the wrong spot. And I have to keep an eye on this, because if I am not careful, I'll lose my train. Oh, there's a lot I want to do on this turn. I want to dig. I want to grab a contract. I want to lay some track, but there isn't any to lay. Oh, I just realized I had that double the work rate. Could have used that. Well, I guess I could use it this turn, and I think I will. I am going to pick up some more resources and dig. So, first I am going to get a coal and 2 iron to start building up my reserves. And then I am going to dig out 3 plus 1 would be 4. So actually, I am going to activate this, and whenever I take the excavation action, double the number of rubble cubes. I am sorely tempted to use my dynamite to blow out another space, but I think I'm going to hold off. So that actually gets me 8 cubes that I get to keep. And I get to claim that 7-point space. And that will bring us to the weather. And do our draw. Oh, another event. Alright. And this time, I lose an iron bar, but that's definitely better than losing my train. Good, I've got coal this turn, so I am going to be getting my extra worker. And I know for a fact that I want to grab this contract, because I want this 21 points at the end of the game, and I don't have to worry about losing my train. Oh, although this one is sorely tempting too. Not only are bars worth points at the end of the game, but you actually get to replace a worker from any other place after you resolve him, so it's basically like getting a free action. But those 21 points sound better. So, I'm going to be gathering, and I'm going to have to make a decision on what I want to do. I keep forgetting I don't have to dig that station out. I am going to dig, which will let me blow up that card, and then I'll be able to get it. So, first, you give me a coal and 2 pieces of iron. Next, you dig, and first, blast. And we reveal, ooh, it's an 8-point card, and it reveals 3 pieces of track. Let's see, it's a 3, a 2, and a 3. And finally, I'll pick up this one. Even though it doesn't give me any special powers, it will give me a lot of points at the end of the game. I should probably cover up the ones that I have used. On to the weather. There's a lot of stone building up over here. It is not good. But heck, I managed to get one of those tracks out from under, so. Alright. I think I know what I want to do this turn. I'm going to use my coal to get my extra man. And I'm definitely going to be gathering and converting. The question is, what do I do with this last guy? I think it would be wise to clear out some of the stone, so I'm definitely going to do that. So first, I will grab a coal and 2 iron. Then I will grab another coal and 2 stone, giving me 3 stone. Next, I'm going to convert, and I'm going to convert these 6 into 2 iron bars, and grab 1 piece of dynamite for later. Kind of sad I couldn't grab this guy, but that's okay. I'm sure it will probably come back around before the end of the game. Speaking of the end of things, looks like I'm going to have to shuffle the deck, so let me do that. And we move on to our draw. Alright, nothing but iron. Well, I'm definitely getting an extra man this turn, and I'm sure I'm going to move that surveyor, because I have the feeling that the game is going to jump up on top of me very fast. Well, as long as there's coal out there, I should probably be gathering resources. And I think I'm going to grab this contract. It's going to give me a direction to shoot for. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Plus, I'll be able to double my work rate. So first, I am going to grab a coal. And, do I want iron or rock? They're both building up, and I'm sure I could use either one of them. So I think I will grab one of each, just because I'm indecisive. And then I'm going to grab this contract, and I am going to activate this contract and move my surveyor 2 times instead of the normal 1. So now I'm only losing 6 points at the end of the game. I got to get at least 1 more. And it's good to have a direction to head in. So, on to the weather. And draw some events. I mean, cubes. Oh, wow. This is going to be interesting. Ah! There's 2 left in there. Well, I know for a fact I'm getting my extra man from the pub this turn. Now the question is, what am I going to do with them all? I think I know what I'm going to do. I definitely want to dig. I'm definitely laying some track. I really want to grab a contract, but if I don't start recycling some cubes into the bag, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, I guess I could do that with building onto some of these stations, too. And we do have a 7-point piece over here. I think I might do that. Yeah, I think I will. Or do I want to grab that contract? Oh, man, it's difficult decisions here. Difficult decisions. I think I will. I'm going to grab that contract because it's going to give me an extra move. And that seems pretty valuable, because Lord knows I'm at A all the time. So first I'm going to dig, and I'm going to dig a lot, because not only is the work rate at 4, I'm going to get an extra one for my snowplow, and I'm going to activate this to double it. So that's going to give me 10 cubes that I can dig out. And I'm definitely taking this one. So that's that. I think I'll take these 3, even though it's only 4 points. So that's 4 that I've dug out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I like it. Alright, so I will hang on to these. Oh, actually, No, I can't do that. I was thinking maybe I could be tricky and snag that card somehow, but there's really no way that I could do it. But now I get to lay some track. Seems like I haven't done that in a while. And I'm going to lay both of these because the work rate is at 2, and I've got steel bars to spare, which lets me claim both of these. And grab another contract. I'm always telling new players that you can never have too many contracts, and I don't know if that's true, but I like it. I moved some of my rubble cubes over here so I don't use it up accidentally. And move to the weather, and draw out the last cubes that we've got in here, and there's really no avoiding it this time. Let's see. Alright, yep, one of each. Well, almost one of each. And the game lays track, and that's annoying, because it does do 2, which means that it's going to have to do one of the Jungfraubahn tracks. So that means first this one, and then we reveal this. That's another big 8-pointer, which I'm not going to get, unfortunately. And it reveals 3 new pieces, a 2, 5, and a 4. And this first one is also laid. So that's 5 and 4. I don't know if I mentioned it before or not, but I can build onto that station. So there's a couple of big 8-point spots that I can get to. Well, I know I'm spending my coal, which gives me my extra man. I don't know how hard I'm going to try to push for this, because it seems like it might be impossible to get. Well, I'm going to try to keep delaying the inevitable, but I'm also going to dig and build. I don't think I can get to some tracks, so let's see what this does. Alright, first I'm going to grab a coal, of course, and 2 pieces of iron. Then I'm going to dig, and I actually get 4 dig actions, and I'm going to use my first one to blow up these 6 pieces and claim this 9-point space. So now I've still got 3 dig actions left. I really wish I had some more dynamite, but I don't. So the question is, do I want to go for the station space or the track card? I think I'll go for the track card and hope that I grab some more dynamite. So that's all of my digging, and now I'm going to build. And I got a lot of build options here. I'm going to have to take a look at the board and see which one's the best. I need to get some stone back into the bag, and I like this 3 for 7, so I think I will grab that one. And that's 3. Oh, you know what? I didn't use this contract card. Hold on a second here. I'm going to rewind just a tiny bit, and I'm going to pretend that I used that contract card to actually move the guy that was collecting goods onto the next available space. So I'm going to collect more goods. I'm going to grab a coal and 2 iron. Yeah, that's not cheating. Not at all. It's not. It's not cheating. Okay, on to the weather. Alright, go to our cubes, and I think I have to empty the bag. Oof, ow. That's 4, so I need 2 more. Oof, man, I think there's still 1 left in there, but that was bad enough. So first, it's going to snow, which means it's going to fill in some spaces. So it's going to fill in spaces equal to the work rate, which is currently 2. So it'll fill in that card and that one down there, that big 6 space. It's here, and these 6 here. So it is possible I can get those 8 points still. Actually, I'm wrong, because the next thing the game is going to do is dig, and whenever it does, it's going to dig out 2 cards worth. So that's that space and that space. So that's actually 2 8-point spaces I just lost. Right back off again. And all of these too. And then the game will lay 1 piece of track. So that'll be this one here. All that snow just went right away. So now the event cubes go right back into the bag. All of these guys. Yep, these go back in the bag. And I'm not sure about this snow disc if I should leave it there, because it says reprocess the weather, use the top card of the draw deck. So, since I already did one snow, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll remove this snow, and then I'll use the weather deck every time we run into this space again. Alright, well this turn, I am definitely going to be using my extra man. I'm definitely going to be gathering. I am definitely going to be converting. And, like usual, it comes down to this last guy. I know exactly what I want to do. I want to grab a contract. This guy over here. So, first I'm going to take a coal, an iron, and a stone with this gentleman. Then I will be converting those 6 into 2 iron bars. And I will get an extra dynamite, which I think I'm going to be needing fairly shortly here. And with this, I will grab this contract that I think I can fulfill. I can lay 1 more track and have 6 cubes and get 14 points. Plus, when I go back to sea, I'll get 2 dynamite instead of 1. So now we do the weather. And we got all that good weather at the beginning of the game, and now we're going to have nothing but bad weather. So, let's go to the cubes. Alright. Oh, wow, only 1. I'm kind of surprised, actually. So, we are doing the weather again, and that means that we're going to actually have some more rain. But the work rate is as low as it'll go, so nothing happens there. Okay, well, extra worker for sure. And I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but I've only got 4 cubes left. And I know I want to use one of them for track. And I think what I'm going to try to do is wait for the game to clear out as much of this extra stuff as possible so I can make my way up to the top track here. Or the top station. Because there's some pretty big points on this card. So, I guess the object is to stall at this point. With that in mind, I'm going to gather goods 2 times. And I'm going to build, I believe. Actually, instead of building, I'm going to gamble, and I'm going to grab another contract. So, first I am going to pick up 3 stone, and a coal, and I don't know if I want to go for more stone or get some iron this time. There's a lot of big points for stone, so stone it is. And I am going to grab this contract. I don't think I'll be able to get both of these, but that's something to shoot for anyway. So, this guy's back at the pub. Alright, and we go to the weather. And we go to the bag, and I think we are going to get all of the cubes this time. Pretty close. Where is that last one? No, all the cubes, yeah. So, that's... I had the feeling that this was going to be happening, that I'm going to get a lot of events. So, first, the game is going to dig out 3 spaces worth of rubble, and that's perfect. So, it's going to do 1, 2, and 3, which I am cool with. Then it's going to lay 1 piece of track, which is exactly what I was hoping for as well. So, we return these guys all to the bag, making them the only thing in there at this point. And ready to start the turn. So, getting my extra man. Hopefully I haven't done that earlier. And I know I'm going to be digging, for sure. I am definitely building once. And I think, in the interest of stalling, I'm just going to move my surveyor. So, first, I am going to dig, and I'm going to use, I've got 4 dig actions, 3 because of the work rate, and 1 because of my plow. One of those I'm going to use my dynamite to blow up this card, and finally claim the last one, which gives me 7 points, and reveals 2 pieces of track. Let's see, a 4, and another 4. So, that's 4, and 4. Then I've still got, let's see, I've still got 3 dig actions. I don't want that rubble, so I'm going to leave it there. I believe I will take these 3, because there really isn't any other good place to get them. Yeah, and I do want to start working my way up this way, so that's 3 for me. So that's my dig. Now I'm going to build, and I am going to build into this space with 4 rock to give me 10 points at the end of the game. And then I'm going to move my surveyor. 1 time. Actually, oh, I thought I broke even on that space. I need to go at least 1 more. Oops. Well, I don't know what's going to happen, so we will do the weather and find out. And we'll do our draw and just see what happens. 4, 6, wow, only 1 event. Surprising. So, this event makes me resolve the weather again, which in this case is sunny, so in fact, the work rate's going to go up. I thought it was going to go down again. Alright, well that changes things a little bit. Well, I'm getting my extra worker, since I don't get coal from honey at the end of the game. But I do for dynamite and steel bars, so that's something to think about. So I think for this turn, I am going to gather. I believe I'm going to convert, and I am going to build. Now, again, I don't know if this is optimal, but I'm going to stick with it. So, first, I want to gather some resources, and I had a plan here. Yes, I want 3 iron, even though I'm not getting a coal, because I am then going to come here and convert. I am going to convert the 3 iron into a single iron bar. I will then convert 2 pieces of rubble into a stone. Oh, actually, maybe I won't. There isn't any stone left in the bag, so I'm not going to be doing that. And, alright, well then, I am going to grab my piece of dynamite, and I will exhaust this contract that will let me take another stick. So that's 2 pieces of dynamite. And now I'm going to build, and 9 points is definitely more than 3 points, so I will build in here with 1 iron bar. And move to the weather. I sense that more events are on the way, but you never know. So we've got 4, 5, 6, yeah, that's the whole bag. So everything that I just drew goes straight back. We get to dig, which digs 3, so that will be up to that station. So that's a 1, that's a 2, and that's a 3. And the last action will be to lay track, and it will only lay 1, which I am happy about. So that goes there, and let's see. These guys go back into the bag. Alright, well, looking at my contracts and everything, I think it's fairly obvious what I'm going to do. I don't have any coal, so I can't get my extra man, but that's not a big deal. I am going to lay track, and I'm going to build, and this will be the last turn, it seems. So, resolving, we're going to do track first. I can only do 1. I pay an iron bar to do that. And then we move on down the line, and I'm going to build into this station with my last 2 iron bars and my last ownership cube for 16 points. Boom, end of the game. Alright, well, looking around the board, I got 86 points from all of my stations. I got 14 from track, plus another 22 from the special Jungfraubahn track cards. I got 71 points in contracts, 0 from my train, and I lost 3 darn points from my surveyor being here at Esmir. And so that gives me a total of 190, which is a pretty respectable score. I'm pretty happy with that because I used up all of my ownership cubes at the same time as I laid the last track, and that doesn't happen too often, so I'm happy with that. A few things made me a little sad. I didn't use all my rubble, and I've still got some rock left over, but really, I shouldn't complain too much. So in closing, I really like this scenario a lot. It's if it's not my favorite now, it's probably pretty close. It's probably second place right after the Daffodil Line. It's a good thing, too, because I've run through this scenario about 4 or 5 times now trying to get this playthrough right. So hopefully I got it this time. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll join me for tomorrow's playthrough, which will be Mount Washington. And I hope to see you then. Safe travels.